The fast food industry is changing rapidly. McDonald's, Taco Bell, Chipotle, and others are embracing a new future where there are fewer dine-in locations and more drive-thrus, delivery, and takeout options. This isn't just because of the pandemic. Fast food restaurants were having a moment of introspection before then. As services like DoorDash and Uber Eats grew in popularity, fewer people were dining in, but the pandemic sped things up. According to a QSR article from February 2020, just a month before lockdowns, 163 million people, or nearly half of the US population, dined out once a week. According to the National Restaurant Association, 16% fewer people are dining out on premises now, meaning dining in at the restaurant. That means 26 million fewer people are eating at restaurants than before the pandemic. But that doesn't mean people aren't going to restaurants. In fact, restaurant sales have risen. It means they're bringing the restaurants to them. Delivery numbers grew by 5% between 2019 and 2023, while drive-thru sales jumped 13%. Drive-thrus now account for almost 40% of restaurant sales, and restaurants are changing to adapt. To accommodate the new normal, fast food joints have thought about how to expand and renovate. And as the focus shifts to drive-thrus, takeout, and delivery, dining rooms are getting cut. Depending on the restaurant, that means reducing the number of seats or eliminating them altogether. McDonald's is the most popular fast food chain in the US, so everyone is paying attention to what they do. Drive-thru, delivery, and takeout represent as much as 90% of their orders in some markets and 70% of their overall business. Recently, they announced they were getting rid of these soda stations by 2032. When drive-thru already represents so much of the business, what's the point of keeping the soda machine around when not enough people use it? In 2022, they started testing an order-ahead drive-thru in Fort Worth, Texas. You place the order in the McDonald's app, go through the pickup lane, and your food and drink are delivered to you on a conveyor belt. Fort Worth is the only location like that so far, but it'll expand soon. They're also creating a spin-off restaurant called Cosmics, with the first locations opening in 2024. McDonald's CEO Chris Kempczinski called it a, quote, small format concept, end quote, with small dining rooms, and said that the new store model will focus on express service. He specifically noted that, quote, because of the growth that's happened with digital and delivery, end quote, you didn't need the big dining rooms you had in traditional McDonald's restaurants. And because of the smaller form factor of the new joints, quote, you're now able to look at real estate sites that previously would have been sort of off limits to us, end quote. Taco Bell, meanwhile, is developing a 4-lane drive-thru called Taco Bell Defy. The first location opened in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. It gets rid of the dining room and focuses on quickly getting customers their food and on their way. One of the lanes is for the Taco Bell app orders, one is for delivery drivers and services like DoorDash. The other two are traditional drive-thru lanes. The store is 2 stories tall. The kitchen is on the top and the food gets delivered to customers using a vertical lift. Meanwhile, in some existing stores, Taco Bell cut back on dining room space and added kiosks so people didn't even have to use the cash register. Some restaurants are experimenting with Seatless Stores altogether. Wingstop opened a restaurant in Dallas, Texas that's 400 square feet smaller than their typical stores. It has no seats, but that makes sense as almost all of the revenue comes from takeout. Panera, meanwhile, is testing out Panera to-go locations. A lot of suburban Panera locations have large dining areas, but that concept didn't work in cities like Chicago and New York. Panera to-go is half the size of a regular Panera and has no dine-in. You get your food and you go on your way. They tested it successfully in Chicago and recently opened a location in New York. But Chipotle is making the biggest, fastest moves. They've opened up more than 500 Chipotlanes across the country. You order your food on their website or through an app and then go to a Chipotlane to pick it up. There's no dine-in. The goal is quick turnaround, from order to pickup in 30 seconds or less. They started with a few locations in 2018 and 2019 and quickly began to add hundreds, with their Chief Development Officer, Tabassum Zalatrala, saying that sales were 10 to 15% higher at Chipotlanes than at traditional Chipotles. As of 2023, nearly 20% of all Chipotle restaurants are Chipotlanes. Jack in the Box, Wendy's, Burger King, it doesn't matter where you look. Whether it's adding more lanes, emphasizing orders through apps, or opening smaller stores with fewer, or more often non-existent dine-in options, they have the same goal in mind: get people out with their food as quickly as possible. Dining in at all restaurants is not going away anytime soon. Eating out is a communal experience after all, and it's fun. But at least for fast food restaurants, it's as important, if not more important, to focus on the customers that need to stop by and be on their way quickly. How people get fast food is most certainly changing. Convenience trumps everything, and what's more convenient than getting your food handed to you through your car's window as soon as you pull up? Maybe this is the future. The restaurants certainly seem to think so.